Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for tuning in to our second installment of the Nestle Day series. We hope that this three-part event series focusing on sustainability, DE&I, and innovation will provide you with an insider perspective into our culture. Today's event, Creating a Sustainable Future Through Innovation, will focus on ways Nestle is making a positive impact within the communities we work in. We're happy to have you here with us today, and we're thrilled to show you what it's like to be a member of the Nestle community. I'm excited for you to hear from our four amazing panelists just shortly. Before we meet our panelists, though, I quickly want to remind everyone that we are hiring. We have opportunities at all levels across the nation in our corporate offices as well as our manufacturing facilities. After this session, we'll send a follow-up email that will include the following: an event recording, a link to join our talent community where you can sign up to receive job alerts, and you'll also get a link to apply to our openings on our career site. Applying through that link will signal to our recruiters that you have attended this session today. So with that, let's go ahead and dive in. So here's what you can expect for the next 45 minutes. We'll start off with getting to know our panelists, then we'll spend the majority of our time having a panel discussion and diving deeper into their stories and why sustainability is an important piece of Nestlé's community and culture. Finally, we'll wrap up with a live audience Q&A. I encourage you to follow along during the conversation and check out the chat box on your screen. You can submit questions there to our panelists and we'll get to as many as we possibly can. All right, let's go ahead and get started. Welcome again, everyone. My name is Devin Norris and I'll be your host today. On the line with me, I have four very successful team members representing a variety of groups from legal, technical and production, marketing, and engineering. A big welcome to all of our panelists today and thank you so much for being here. We're going to kick things off with some introductions. I'll go ahead and get started. So again, my name is Devin Norris and I'm a Senior Talent Acquisition Specialist at Nestlé. I support our digital and finance positions. I work remotely from Richmond, Virginia. I was born in New Jersey and I went to West Virginia University. Not sure if we have any fellow mountaineers on the call today. My biggest passions are traveling, DIY house projects. It seems like every house we have bought so far has been a fixer-upper, but me and my husband do enjoy those challenges. I'm the decorator, he does more of the construction piece. But I'm very thankful that I can work from home because as you can see there, that is a picture of my new puppy. His name is Sam. He is a little bit bigger now. He's 5 months old, but working from home gives me that flexibility to enjoy all the things that I love a little bit more. My favorite Nestle product has to be Stouffer's mac and cheese, but I also love all of our coffee mate creamers. I usually keep about 3 or 4 in the house that I rotate out for my morning coffee. It might sound a little excessive, but I just like to have my options in the morning. Now I'd like to introduce you to our panel members. We'll kick it off with Anna. Anna, can you tell us a bit more about your background and career path?
Absolutely, Devin. Thanks so much, and thanks everyone for joining. So Anna Marciano, I'm a lawyer by training, and I've been practicing law for 22 years at various consumer products good companies like Snapple, Cadbury, and Heineken. I currently am the general counsel of Nestle Premium Waters and Nespresso USA, head of legal sustainability for Zone North America for Nestle, and head of sustainability at Nespresso USA. I joined Nestle because of its purpose to unlock the power of food to enhance quality of life for everyone today and for future generations. I really saw it as an opportunity to leverage my legal degree and do something greater and be a force for good. And I was actually hired as our first sustainability lawyer. I really enjoy working with my colleagues to push boundaries of the law, climb fences, and explore new areas, and love working in the area of sustainability because it really gives me an opportunity to play my part in leaving the planet better for my family, which includes my kids that you see in the picture there, and my dog Stella, and my husband. But now I'd really love to have all of you meet my colleague, Sven Vetter.
Hello, my name is Sven Vetter, and it's great to be with everyone today. I'm the Director of Environment and Environmental Sustainability, and in this role, I work to support the environmental aspects of our activities from raw ingredients through customer delivery. I've been with Nestle for 7 years, and prior to coming to Nestle, I worked 27 years at Kodak, where I was the Health, Safety, and Environmental Division Director. I have a bachelor's degree in mechanical engineering from the Rochester Institute of Technology and a master's degree in finance and information systems from the University of Rochester. Sustainability is not just part of my job, it's the way I live my life. I'm passionate about wilderness and protecting wild places. I've spent years backpacking and paddling, and when I'm not at work or in the woods, I'm an avid organic gardener. I have a large family, 4 children and 7 grandchildren, so it's really important to me to work to preserve the planet. And one thing is certain, you can never have too many people in your life to love. With that, I'm going to introduce my colleague, Allie Buff.
Awesome. Thank you, Sven. Hi, everyone. My name is Allie Buff, and my role at Nestle is a brand manager focusing on sustainability. So I support all of our Nestle USA brands in sustainability strategy development and communications. I've been with Nestle about 2 years. My background in education is actually in sustainability science. And prior to my time at Nestle, I was at a German discount retailer leading their sustainability strategy within their buying department. My 2 favorite Nestle products are Chameleon Iced Coffee and Vital Proteins Powder. I feel like I'm always drinking an iced coffee. And in my free time, I love being outdoors with my husband. So that can be anything from hiking to running. And my fun sustainability fact of the day is growing up, I actually spent a lot of time on the Chesapeake Bay, and my family coincidentally has a small oyster farm on the Rappahannock River in Virginia. So really excited for today's discussion, and I will pass it on to Alan.
Thanks, Allie. Thanks for the introduction, and hello, everyone. My name is Alan Tappan. I am the packaging manager within the Nestle Product Technology Center, which is our R&D center dedicated to the health science business. I've been with Nestle for about 4 years, based in Bridgewater, New Jersey. And I'm actually from New Jersey myself, actually. My education background, I went to Rutgers for industrial engineering and my MBA. And then prior to Nestle, I've been working at Mars Chocolate and Edgewell, all in consumer products and packaged goods. You'll see some pictures of me. That's my wife Melissa and my son Charlie. Love being outside, love spending time with them, and we both have very large families. So we're the cooks of the family and just try to give people great food. And that really was brought me to Nestle. So Nestle Health Science, it might not be familiar to a lot of people, but it does a lot of medical nutrition products and some consumer-faced goods. But the motto is empowering lives, healthy lives through nutrition. And so that was always something very important to me, and clean nutrition is important to me. So 2 of my favorite Nestle products are products that actually work on a day-to-day basis, which is the Vital Proteins, collagen peptides, and Garden of Life's multivitamin gummies. So very clean label, but very delicious way, and a very cool experience to have your multivitamins. So that's it. And Devin, looking forward to the event.
Thanks, Alan. All right, so now that we are all starving and want a turkey dinner, we can move on from here. So also thank you to all the panel members. It was nice hearing about your career journeys, also what you're passionate about outside of the workplace. Now let's learn a little bit more about your experiences and gain exclusive insight into how each of you take it upon yourself to strengthen the culture and community at Nestle. So with that, let's jump into our first question. Developing a strong strategy is the first step to success. Anna, this first question is for you. You've had experience developing a sustainability strategy for Nespresso and Nestle Waters. Can you tell us a bit more about that experience?
Yeah, absolutely, Devin. Thank you so much. I think we need to actually start off with what do we mean when we say sustainability? Because there's really no formal definition. But when we think about sustainability here at Nestle, we're really thinking about maintaining. That's what's at its core. Maintaining our business operations while striving to leave the world better than we found it at the end of the day. We see sustainability as having three components of E, S, and G, environment, social, and governance. And while we're developing our strategy, we look for opportunities to be a force for good. And as you mentioned, I had the opportunity to help Nespresso USA develop their sustainability strategy. And in developing that, we really took a look at our company purpose to ensure that we were being authentic and guided by that purpose at the end of the day. So for Nespresso USA, we believe that each cup of coffee can have a positive impact and be a force for good. And I'm super excited that we just announced last week that Nespresso USA is B Corp certified. So caring for our people and planet is at our core. So our sustainability strategy is grounded in that core belief. And we also look at the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals to make sure that we're heading in the right direction. We built it around the three pillars, as I mentioned before, the E for environment, how we care for the planet, with key performance goals around reducing carbon footprint, recycling of our capsules and machines. And then our S, the social, is all about how we care for our people, driving impact with our greatest asset, our employees, and the local communities in which we operate. And then the G for governance. What processes do we need to actually help ensure we're managing our business in a responsible way? And we're constantly guided by the North Star to be a force for good and care for our people, consumers, and our customers. So that's kind of how we did it at Nespresso USA, Devin. Thanks for the question.
Thank you for setting the stage for this conversation and taking us through that experience. As you can all see, that's a huge accomplishment, and you can see how much work goes into ensuring our product lines are aligning with our sustainability goals. Nestle's goal is to leave the world better than we found it. This is a phrase you're all going to hear multiple times during this discussion. This next question is for all of our panel members. As we strive for a more sustainable future and a healthier planet, can each of you discuss the different ways Nestle is fulfilling these goals and commitments? Ali, let's start with you.
Perfect. Thanks, Devin. So as you are probably aware, Nestle set some ambitious sustainability commitments, which the team is going to talk to shortly. But as a brand marketer, I support all of the Nestle brands in sustainability strategy development and also bringing this to life through comms. So I work very closely with our brand leads to evaluate the consumer insights within their product categories. So we look at everything from the latest research and emerging trends for topics like sustainable packaging, animal welfare, and regenerative agriculture. So once a brand establishes their sustainability strategy and it's developed, I work with them to embed it into their brand purpose and foundational documents. What I think is so unique about this is it truly becomes part of their brand identity and is embedded into the day-to-day business practices for the brands.
Thanks, Ali. I think it's great that we embed the sustainability practices into the brand's purpose from the start. So by creating this standard during the initial strategy, this will help us fulfill these goals and commitments, like you stated. Alan, what are some of our packaging commitments your group focuses on?
Yeah, absolutely. There's a lot, as you can imagine, since Nestle did take some very big, ambitious commitments. So it's really to no surprise to everyone that plastic waste is one of the biggest sustainability issues, not just for Nestle, but across the world. And one of the big commitments that Nestle has actually made is we're really trying to rethink our packaging and develop it more as a resource, providing our food to consumers. And how do we not just have it become waste, but recover that really valuable resource and drive a circular economy? And one of the ways we're doing that, obviously, is making the commitment that all of our packaging by 2025 will be either recyclable or reusable through various work streams, but mostly driven by the people. And there's a lot of really passionate people within Nestle, including myself, working on all of these new innovative materials and trying to really simplify our packaging so that it's easier to recycle. But recycling is really only one piece of the puzzle. One of the other great things that I'm really excited about is Nestle is also looking at how do we drive completely new consumer experiences and behaviors when it comes to packaging itself. We've been piloting a lot of great programs, one of being a reusable packaging for Haagen-Dazs ice cream, which they actually put the ice cream in stainless steel containers that were then recollected and cleaned and redistributed, as well as they just ran a market test last year in San Francisco looking at refillable stations at the stores where consumers could either bring in their own packaging or purchase reusable at stores and then fill it with products like Toll House or Chameleon Coffee, rather than having a traditional packaging and really driving a completely new experience. So a lot of really exciting things, and I know there's a lot more excitement to come as well.
Thanks, Alan. I do agree. It's very exciting how far our packaging has come in regards to providing easily recyclable packaging. I think easily, as you stated a couple of times and I'm stating now, is the key word there. I think that's really the first step in motivating people to recycle. I know with our Starbucks creamers, that whole bottle is fully recyclable, and it makes it that much easier just to throw it all in one bin and instead of having to separate it out. So thank you for running that, running what your group does specifically in the world of packaging. So Sven, what are we doing in the manufacturing logistics area to meet our goals and commitments?
That's great, Devin. Thank you for asking. Nestle has demonstrated a long history of commitment to social and environmental issues. Sustainability really is not new to us. We've been working for years to minimize the environmental impact of our operations with successful programs to eliminate waste for disposal, conserve water, reduce our greenhouse gas emissions, as well as serving the communities where we operate and we live. I work closely with our manufacturing and logistics operations to continue to reduce our environmental impacts. And an example I'd like to share is that at the height of the 2015 drought in California, we made a commitment to reduce our water consumption by 144 million gallons per year. We well exceeded that goal, but we went another step further. We implemented the Alliance for Water Stewardship framework at our Carnation factory located in Modesto, California. The Alliance for Water Stewardship is a management system that is really dedicated to water, taking into consideration a holistic view and assessment of the entire watershed with a special focus on identifying water-related risks. The assessment that we completed included the identification of key stakeholders that could be brought together to define and implement programs for mitigating those water-related risks. Increased nitrate concentration in the groundwater was one of the risks that we identified. And we have worked and we continue to work with local farmers to increase their awareness of the issue and promote methods that reduce the impact from their operations. Thank you again, Devin, for asking.
Thank you, Sven. It's great to hear what we're doing internally to make sure that we're communicating any external risks to the communities that we work in. Anna, how are we making a local impact as we strive for a more sustainable future?
Yeah, there's a lot of work that we do on local impact for sure, especially when it comes to our farmers. As you could imagine, they're not only critical to our planet, but also to our business. And cocoa farming communities in particular face immense challenges, including poverty, increased climate risk, financial, basic infrastructure that they need. But these deeply rooted complex problems actually contribute to the risk of child labor on family farms. And I'm so proud that in this past January, through collective action with local governments and NGOs, Nestle launched an innovative income accelerator program to incentivize better practices that actually help improve the long-term economic stability of the cocoa farming families. And in particular, the program gives farmers and their spouses direct financial incentives and training to help increase cocoa productivity. And what I really love about this program is that it incentivizes farmers to enroll their school-age children in their household ages 6 through 16 to actually enroll in school. In addition to having their kids enroll in school, implementing good agricultural practices, performing certain agroforestry activities, and if they do all of that, they get an additional income incentive. And I really feel by increasing and diversifying the incomes of cocoa farming families, the Innovative Income Accelerator program is actually going to empower women and children to further contribute to the protection of the children in the cocoa farming communities. So it's just one of many examples of thinking about an underlying issue, the root cause of it, and how we as Nestle can help to alleviate the situation.
Thanks, Anna. It's great to hear about the successful programs that Nestle has created to make an impact. I think there's definitely a difference between talking the talk and walking the walk. But as you can see with your answer, we are walking the walk here in the sustainability world. So thank you everyone for sharing how you've had a hand in creating a sustainable future through your work here at Nestle. At Nestle, we are innovating within our walls as well as beyond. That leads me to our next question. How does Nestle source ideas for sustainability? Let's start with you, Sven.
New ideas for sustainability initiatives can come from multiple sources, from our employees, our customers, and our suppliers. One of the areas that enables success within the teams that I support is high levels of cross-functional engagement and collaboration. There are multiple benefits when individuals from different backgrounds come together to solve a problem. We benefit from the breadth of experiences and the richness of those diverse ideas. For example, we've established a water and energy champions network to work on water and energy conservation. The network is comprised of individuals with backgrounds in engineering, operations, safety, health and environment, quality, and procurement. The team meets monthly to review our water and energy performance, discuss challenges, share best practices, and evaluate new project ideas. Each month, a different factory presents a challenge or a problem that the team helps to solve. The best, most implementable solutions are awarded recognition points that can be used by employees to purchase products from an online store. Thank you, Devin.
Thanks, Sven. And I really do love the collaboration that occurs here at Nestle. And I think that's something that you're going to see throughout our conversation today. And that was something that initially enticed me about the company. I just joined about 5 months ago and working 100% remote. This was the first time for me. I wasn't sure if I'd feel that same type of connection, get the same type of networking opportunities that you do going into the office on a day-to-day basis. But Nestle truly has curated such a collaborative work environment that I feel very connected not only to my immediate team members, but also the groups that I work with cross-functionally. And I think you'll see that in some of the responses today, how closely we all work together. So that leads me to you, Allie. What do we do in brand marketing to source new ideas?
Thanks, Devin. And it's such a great question. And in addition to our core sustainability teams, which Sven had mentioned, we know employees across Nestle and all teams and departments are really passionate about the topic of sustainability. So actually, one of my favorite projects I worked on last year was a Nestle Open Channel project, specifically for sustainability ideas. Open Channel is essentially Nestle's internal platform that taps into employees for crowdsourcing of ideas. It's essentially how we bring new ideas for innovation into our business straight from employees, leveraging our best assets, which Anna had mentioned, our employees. So last April for Earth Month, we hosted a sustainability focused Open Channel challenge. The finalists of this challenge had the opportunity to present their ideas in the sustainability space to our executive leadership team. They ultimately ended up selecting a refill pilot that we're actively working on now. What I love about this project is it was submitted by someone from our finance and packaging team. And it really showcases, these ideas can come from anywhere in the business, and we have a lot of passion across the board from all employees.
Thanks, Allie, and I'm happy you brought up that specific example because I think that it's great that we give employees across the entire company footprint an opportunity to get involved because not to brag, but I think we have some very intelligent people here at Nestle, and they're just looking for that platform to be able to bring up new ideas. So I think that this platform that your group is utilizing helps bring colleagues from across the entire company, their intelligence being brought to light. So thank you for sharing that. Alan, what platform does your group use to source new ideas?
Yeah, thanks, Evan. And actually, I couldn't agree more with you on the, let's say, the collaborative nature within Nestle. And it's actually something I wanted to speak about for this question. Within our R&D itself, not just packaging, but all of R&D, within Nestle, it's really built on a giant community of all the different global networks. So if you can imagine Nestle being the largest food manufacturer, we operate many businesses in many, many regions of the world. And so all of these businesses have a lot of shared technologies, but because of that, they also face a lot of shared issues and challenges. So we're always working together at a global scale. If we see that certain products are working or are very beneficial to certain consumers for, let's say, either cross business or across the world, we always share those learnings. We create networks for individual problems or maybe specific areas, whether it's moving to paper packaging or improving recyclability infrastructures. We have these core networks that we can then share our best practices, understand a lot of the alternative deliveries, where if we see a pilot in one part of the world, we make sure that we broadcast everything so that everyone can gain from those learnings and really accelerate all of that great momentum.
Thanks, Alan. Yes, as you can see, we're all working very closely hand in hand, and there's a very family-like feel here at Nestle, which I love. So Anna, how do we utilize our ERGs to source ideas?
Yeah, absolutely. I think you're hearing a common theme. At the end of the day, success in any area for any organization is through its people, and our employees truly are our greatest asset, as I said before. They're reflective also of our consumers, so we want to make sure that we're hearing from them. So whether it's related to new ideas, as Ali was just talking about through the open channel, to the social impact that we're looking to make. And Nestle actually has several employee resource groups, or ERGs, to serve as a community within our organization. So the ERGs connect colleagues through shared experiences, interests, and passions. And it's really a safe and collaborative space for employees to engage with and support one another, whether they identify as a member of that community or as an ally of the community. And at Nespresso USA in particular, we have 10 ERG groups, everything from women, Black at Nespresso, parenting group, and we leverage these ERGs actually to help us identify organizations that we'll collaborate with. Before I told you, we're all about making a social impact in the communities in which we operate. It was our ERG groups that are actually enabling us and identifying organizations that we want to collaborate with. So our LGBTQ group identified the Ali Forney Center, which is based in New York City. Its mission is to protect homeless, lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, and questioning youths from the harms of homelessness and empower them with the tools they need to be independent. And if you go onto the Nespresso site, you'll see that we've done an amazing collaboration with them. There's some accessories that you can purchase, but it was really about raising money and awareness for the organizations, but also an opportunity for our employees to interact with the organization and their people. So our employees are volunteering their time at the community at the Ali Forney Center. So it really helps us to focus these ERG groups, Devin, on the communities and the organizations most meaningful to our employees and truly enable us to be a force for good in the communities in which we operate.
Thank you, Anna. I think it's obvious that our ERGs are a huge part of our company, and it provides our employees with a platform so that they are heard. And I think also collaboration is a common theme, but also we're providing our employees with a lot of platforms to make sure that their voice is heard and not lost, because we are such a huge company. And overall, I think it's very inspiring to see all of the innovative approaches that we're taking to make sure we are striving towards a more sustainable future. So at Nestle, we are harnessing the power of our employees to take urgent action on sustainability issues. Our next question is, how is Nestle empowering employees to foster sustainable practices? Sven, as a leader in this space, what are your thoughts?
One of the most important aspects of this is awareness. It's the first and most critical step. Ensuring that our employees know the commitments that we've made, they understand the programs that we've implemented, is one of the ways to ensure success and also to ensure employee engagement. Last fall, we held a Sustainability Expo that included multiple training and awareness modules that ran over the course of 2 days. I believe that we had over 2,000 participants in that event. The event allowed employees to select the area or areas that they had an interest and participate in a comprehensive review of the programs in those program areas. It enabled employees to better understand what we were doing and where they may play a role. Allie mentioned earlier the use of open channel. And one of the additional projects that we selected for local implementation was an employee tree planting campaign. And to identify and coordinate a coordination team, we used another IT solution called Talent Marketplace to advertise the project and solicit participation. The team has made great progress in planning a tree planting event that will be piloted at 2 of our facilities this fall.
Thank you, Sven, and I'm glad you brought up Talent Marketplace. I think this is such an innovative platform that gives employees a chance to get involved in areas that they don't directly work in, but are passionate about. And especially being a new employee, you're not sure how to initiate those conversations of other areas you're interested in. A lot of us are working from home right now, so not getting as many networking opportunities. So Talent Marketplace is such a great place to go if you want to get involved with other organizations or learn something, have some shadowing opportunities. And I first heard about it when I was going through the interview process, and I thought to myself, how come every company doesn't do this? So that is a platform that we have that I am super proud of. So enough about my love for Talent Marketplace. Allie, what are we doing in this area from a marketing perspective?
Thanks, Devin. And I know we've talked a lot about employees today, but I really do want to reiterate that our employees are so engaged and excited about all of our work in the sustainability space. So we have Nestle Green Teams, which are part of our employee resource groups, as Anna mentioned earlier, across multiple of our campuses. So we have one in Solon, Ohio, that's been around for almost 10 years. So in the past, they've brought in external speakers that can help organize campus events focused on sustainability. So some of the things they've done in the past, we recently did an upcycling workshop where you could leverage items from home and turn them into something new, tree planting, which Sven had touched on, and then also recycling drop-off days for your old electronics. So for me personally, I know this has been a great way for employees to get involved with a group of other passionate employees about the same topic. We also recently kicked off Green Teams in Arlington and Seattle campuses as well. And I know for me personally, someone who's newer to the company, it's been such a wonderful way to get to know others in the company with interests in the sustainability space. So it's been really beneficial for me.
Thank you, Allie. I actually attended our upcycling workshop and I thought that was super helpful when they were going over like using some things that are in your house for wrapping a gift or giving something to somebody else. Like that gets ripped apart anyway. Why not reuse newspaper or magazines and make it a little bit personalized? So I thought that was very helpful that we had that real-time example to look at. So as you can see, we offer all of our employees numerous ways to get involved with our sustainability goals. We've met our panelists, learned about their roles and how they work cross-functionally to implement and drive our sustainability projects. For those interested in pursuing a career in sustainability, what do those career opportunities look like at Nestle? Let's start with you, Alan.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Devin. And I think one of the great parts about Nestle is these opportunities aren't just for people with sustainability in their title, they're really across all of the different functions. So from an R&D perspective, sustainability and climate change are really key considerations of any type of innovation or new product change that we're looking at today. And no matter how small it is, whether it's changing the color printed on packaging or swapping out a different ingredient, we're always doing a full assessment through the value chain to understand its global impact. And when you take that level of evaluation that really requires knowledge from the ingredients to supply chain to how consumers will, maybe the consumer behavior, how they'll react to the different experience. So we really need input from every function, and that's a great opportunity where we really need sustainability leaders in every function if we're really going to advocate for the change that we want to see.
Thanks, Alan. And I think it's obvious with our panel members coming from all different backgrounds of the company that you really can have a hand in pushing forward our sustainability goals, even if you don't work directly within the team, like you said. And this kind of leads me right to my next question. Anna, as someone working outside of our sustainability team and working on our legal team, what does this look like to you?
Yeah, I love, Alan, how you said you don't have to have sustainability in your title to be involved. That's absolutely right. You have to be passionate about the topic to be involved, because it really is going to take a cross-functional team and not just one department or one function to figure this out. It's all of us working together to drive the change that we want to see. And so, yes, as a lawyer, you know, folks are like, what do you do in the area of sustainability? How does that happen at the end of the day? You know, I was a business lawyer for so many years, and as a business lawyer, I had some experiences that Nestle thought, hey, maybe these can be applied to a sustainability topic. And I was really grateful when Nespresso USA asked me to actually take on a business role and lead the sustainability strategy for Nespresso USA. And it's been just a tremendous opportunity to help, you know, develop our strategy and drive the achievements of our goals. And what I would say is there are so many paths to get involved in sustainability, especially at Nestle. And so I would say, even if you're interested in the topic of sustainability, find a company that's passionate about it. And even if there's not a job per se with the title, as Alan was saying, you might find the opportunity to be able to pursue your passion in the area if it's an organization like Nestle where sustainability is at our core.
Thank you, Anna and Alan. I hope that helped anyone on the call today who is interested in pursuing a career or getting involved in a sustainability project here at Nestle. So this has been a great discussion on why sustainability is so important to us here at Nestle. Now it's time to take some questions from you. So far, we've received a handful of questions, so let's first kick it off with Allie. One of our audience members would like to know, what makes you want to stay at Nestle during a time when society is experiencing so much disruption?
Thanks, Devin. And it's a really good question. I know there's so much change happening in the world right now. I think personally for me, it's definitely the people and the community at Nestle. So, I mean, you'll see everyone on this call today, but I get to work with extremely passionate, kind, driven, and smart people on a daily basis. So I personally feel like there is no challenge that's too big for this team to tackle and get to work with some amazing people every day.
I completely agree, Allie. Since coming into the company, I'm pretty fresh, only 5 months in, but that is something that stood out to me in the interview process and has followed through up till this day. It's the people truly that makes such a difference. And even going through the interview process, comparing it to some of the other companies, there was just not that personalized touch and the good questions and it being very conversational and making sure it was not only a good fit for me to come to Nestle, but also a good fit for me. So it has been great working here so far, and I know you have a couple more years of experience under your belt here, but I have just been blown away by the culture here so far. All right, we have another question from the audience, and this one's for you, Sven. I'm interested in a career in sustainability. Any advice on how to get started?
Absolutely, and sustainability is about the way in which we live and operate. It's the things that we do to make the world better than we found it. This is an area where we can all make a difference. And Alan has said it, and Anna has said it. It's not and doesn't require a specific educational background. Getting started means getting involved. You know, be a lighthouse. Learn about what your company is doing, as well as what's going on in your community. Understand what commitments have been made. Understand how you can play a role in achieving the goals and reaching the targets. Learn about those challenges and how they're being addressed. I think that's the best way to get involved, and if you're passionate about it, you'll be successful. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sven, and you're blowing up with some questions over here. So the next one's for you as well. Do you source innovative ideas outside of your employees? If so, what is the process or channel for engaging with Nestle?
Absolutely, and I mentioned this very early on. We get our ideas not only from our employees, but we also get them from our suppliers as well as our customers. And I'll use one example. We outsourced our transportation, and as you can imagine, with the number of products that we make, we transport a lot of our products over many miles. And when you step back and you look at it, transportation accounts for 28% of the greenhouse gas emissions in the United States. So it's really important that we play a role with our carriers to identify and implement opportunities to reduce the impact or the footprint. So we've been working with a number of our carriers to identify proofs of concept where we can begin to deploy dedicated routes that are on zero transport vehicles.
Thank you, Sven. All right, Alan, kicking it over to you. Somebody would like to know what has been the most impactful project you've worked on?
Yeah, thanks, Devin. It's difficult just to pick one. I know it always seems like the small projects that make really big impacts. And I know actually supporting our Boost, our Boost product, which is a medical nutrition supplement drink, actually, where we were able to reduce plastic, and we were able to reduce 10% out of the plastic bottles itself, which seems very small in comparison, but when you look at just the tons of plastic, when you add it all up, and then helping simplify the packaging so it can actually be fully recyclable and easy for consumers, like we mentioned earlier, just to be able to bring it to their curbside and not have to deal with taking into different pieces or even having non-recyclable components in that bottle. So that is one example of, and it's one of many where we try to continue to make all of our different health science products recyclable today.
Thank you, Alan. So before my job here at Nestle, I used to work for an energy company here in Virginia, and we always had to have like 7 different trash cans. And I saw so many people start off at one and then go to the second one and just be like, all right, you know what, I'm just throwing everything in one because it's just too time consuming. I need to get to my next meeting. So I think it's great that we're making it easier so that people don't feel like it's just too much of a process to take apart all components of packaging. All right, the next question is for you, Anna. How is Nestle staying accountable, making sure that their coffee and cocoa supply chain have little to no child labor and that it is fair trade?
Yeah, such a great question. I touched upon it a little bit as I was talking about our Income Accelerator program. You know, at the end of the day, it's going to take collaboration with others, whether it's NGOs, local teams, and third parties, and leveraging our supply network and third-party certifiers to help us really to ensure that we're doing all that we can. We at Nestle are really trying to address those underlying issues that can contribute to the risks of child labor, as I was saying before, which often could be additional income that's needed, good practices, and how do you incentivize the farmers and to make sure that their children are in school and not on the farms working. So it's really through those collaborations. It's also listening to the needs of the local farmers as well and understand the dynamics of a community, right? At the end of the day, what might work in one particular area might not translate into the other as well. So I think it's really important to understand the dynamics and what those underlying root cause issues can be. I hope that answers the question.
No, thank you, Anna, and thank you for providing specific examples on how we're doing our due diligence and talking to these farmers, and it's not a one-size-fits-all scenario, and we're taking different approaches to each specific situation. So the next question is for you, Allie. Do you have any advice for how to demonstrate key behavioral markers of success here at Nestle?
Yes, sorry, I'm having trouble coming off mute. Yes, it's a great question. I think the biggest 2 I can think of is 1, the ability to effectively communicate. So we know topics like sustainability can be pretty challenging to articulate. They're complex issues. So the ability to kind of take information and simplify it and communicate it throughout the company, I think, is key. Another one I would say is agility. So sustainability space is always moving, and the ability to make quick decisions, not be afraid to pivot if something doesn't go perfect along the way, and make that change if needed. So I would say communication and agility are kind of my big two.
Thanks, Anna. And something that I liked when I joined here is that Nestle really wants you to make game time decisions and have ownership over your current job responsibilities and not have to run through a thousand hoops or red flags. So that is something I appreciate here, that we kind of are able to run with ideas when we have them. The next question is for you, Alan. In an environment of widespread shortages, how do you feel Nestle's commitment to sustainability has impacted the company's ability to obtain the materials needed to make its products?
Yeah, no, that's actually a really great question, and I think it touches on another big packaging commitment on Nestle that I spoke to the recyclability commitment, but there's also another really large one, which actually also by 2025, Nestle is committed to reduce the use of virgin plastic by 1/3 overall, which right now we're in a very difficult time from a supply chain perspective of procuring a lot of these materials, but fortunately, over the last couple of years, we've made so many strides in reducing the amount of plastic that we actually need within our manufacturing that's really helped relieve some of that burden, since we're not having to purchase and make as much plastic as we were in years prior. So every year we make really significant strides to reducing those materials, and it's been a great success so far.
Thanks, Alan. The next question is for you, Anna. Any advice on how to stand out during the interview process at Nestle?
What a great question, right? And I think it's how do you stand out in any interview? And what I would say is really know the company, do your research ahead of time, and know who you're interviewing with. I oftentimes find it really odd when I'm interviewing a candidate and they don't have an idea of what the commonalities are between us, or think, common interests or topics. Sometimes I've even, we've both graduated from Boston College, and it's like they don't even bring it up during the interview process. The reason why I say that is because at Nestle and large corporations, it's all about the relationships that you form, and you want during the interview process to start building the relationships and showing that you are an individual who seeks to learn and understand and to collaborate with others. But the most important thing to me actually during an interview process is to make sure that you're being authentic to yourself at the end of the day, authentic to who you are. Don't try to force and try to change who you are to fit a particular role. Really show up to the interview process with your thoughts, your ideas, and your concerns. Articulate those and talk through them. So remain authentic to yourself and know the company and the people that you're interviewing with, Devin, is kind of the advice I'd give to someone to stand out during the interview process.
No, I think that's great advice. And I think so many times when we're nervous during an interview, you don't want to come across as like too excited or eager. But that is something that you should let shine through in the interview. If you're passionate about something, if you're excited about the job, let the panel know. I think that we love to see when somebody's really excited about a job or excited about the potential of working at Nestle. So I think that's a great piece of advice. All right, the next question is for you, Sven. What do you enjoy the most about your role?
I love solving problems and I love working with people. And we have a very deep and strong set of technical resources and people that are passionate about the job that they do in the company that they work for. And I think that really is what makes coming to work every day most rewarding.
Completely agree. And I think that is a great segue. We are all, we're out of time for questions. So thank you to all of our panel members for your thoughtful responses and to our audience for staying engaged through this session. And also just taking the time to join us this afternoon. I know it was right after lunchtime, so we really appreciate it. Before we end this session, I just want to make some quick call outs to make sure we stay connected going forward. If you haven't had a chance to explore Nestle's career site, you can find us at nestlejobs.com. Be sure to opt in to join our talent network. You'll receive a link to do that in the follow-up email that you get. Joining our talent community will ensure you receive emails about what it's like to work at Nestle, some of the exciting things happening within our workplace, and what's new in our product portfolio. We have a number of openings across our operating companies, so make sure to set up job alerts upon joining our talent community. That way, you'll be notified as soon as a job opening comes up in your area of interest. And as a reminder, within the next 48 hours, you'll receive a follow-up email with a link to the event recording in case you'd like to rewatch it. I truly had a great time with everyone today, and I hope you feel the same way and learned about Nestle and why sustainability is such an integral part of our company fabric. If you're interested in learning more about Nestle's culture and community, we will be hosting one more event in the Nestle Day series. This event will focus on innovation and will occur later this year. Today, we've learned how our panelists have a hand in bringing our sustainability journey to life, and we're so happy that we've had the opportunity to share our stories with you today. I'll leave you with this video, and I hope you all have a great rest of your afternoon.
We're all on a journey to live better, more sustainable lives. At Nestle, our ambition is to help leave the world better than we found it. That starts on the farm. From improving water usage to reducing our carbon footprint and helping build regenerative food systems at scale. We've set ambitious goals, and we want to make it easier for you to take meaningful steps for good. So when you choose to bake with Carnation milk, you're helping support water conservation efforts and the U.S. Dairy Net Zero Initiative. When you enjoy a cup of Nescafé coffee, you're helping build healthy, resilient coffee farms. If you're trying out plant-based foods, Sweet Earth offers options that are good for you and the planet. And when it comes to feeding your family, Gerber is reimagining food with climate-forward nutrition, and that begins with Olive Gerber Organic going carbon neutral by 2022. We invite you to join us on our journey as we unlock the power of food to enhance life today and for generations to come. Together, we are Generation Regeneration.